slandering. During lockdown, it was no different if you didn't comply, if you didn't wear a mask. And who pushed that agenda? None other than pig vomit in there, Piers Morgan. And as for you, Cardwell, calling Robinson a racist, you owe the British public and Tommy Robinson an apology.
An extraordinary row has broken out between the imprisoned activist and citizen journalist Tommy Robinson and Talk TV or Talk Radio, Talk, my former employer, whatever it's called now, over claims on air that he is racist. Now, I'm going to show you just a moment an extraordinary protest that took place outside the offices of Talk, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation, while the two men that seem to be particularly targeted by Tommy's activists, Piers Morgan and Peter Cardwell, were broadcasting. But first, let me show you the specific incidents that have really upset Tommy supporters, which were broadcast on Peter Cardwell's weekend show. Watch this one first.
Thank you to everybody online who has been in touch, including all those people who are saying that I'm a liar and that Tommy Robinson isn't a racist. I mean, he is. Just, you know, do some basic research and you'll find out. So thank you to everybody who's been in touch, including those people who've been horrible, and some who haven't been horrible. Some who've been totally respectful and just saying they disagree with me, and that's okay. If we disagree without being disagreeable.
It actually got even better because then a caller confronted Peter Cardwell live on air. The producers, because I know, having worked at Talk Radio, they have one of those dump buttons, which means that they can actually delay what goes out. They can effectively censor a call who might make a comment that they feel is unpalatable or challenges the host in some way. So they started doing that, but I will give credit to Peter Cardwell. He actually said, no, I want to have the conversation. Watch what happened.
Oh, no, don't take her off. Don't take her off. It's okay. It's all right. Deb, sorry, go ahead. Say that again.
I think it's about time that you apologise for calling Tommy Robinson a racist, which he's not. I don't know whether you have any evidence of that at all. And also, there's actually a demonstration going on outside your studios right now. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not, actually, Debs, but thank you for letting me know. Thanks for your call. Appreciate that. Now then, Wayne says...
I don't think he did appreciate it, and let's just say what was going on outside the News UK offices was quite something. This is Based and Bougie, who is quite a rising star in Tommy Robinson's world because she is a young black woman who very much supports him. She was part of the demonstration. Watch.
That he was a far-right, racist, Islamophobic extremist. And me being 11 years old and very impressionable, I believed it. Until maybe 12, 14 years later, I decided, he came up on my FYP, and I decided to just watch an interview. It was just a 1-hour interview. So as I was watching the interview, I was waiting to hear that right-wing, extremist, Islamophobic, racist comment, and I couldn't hear anything. So I decided to watch a second interview, waiting for that right-wing, extremist, Islamophobic comment, still couldn't hear anything. I decided to watch a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth interview, and I still couldn't find this character that they painted Tommy Robinson out to be. Now, I'm a very curious individual, so when I'm intrigued by something, nothing will stop me from exploring it. And after watching a couple of Tommy Robinson's interviews, I realized that this man was on a mission, not to create an all-white Britain, but to actually protect Britain and to protect children. That's it.
Mick Tanconi, the leader of the UKIP party, was also there with a very strong message to both Peter Cardwell and Piers Morgan.
Oh, no, don't take her off. Don't take her off. It's okay. It's all right.
Relationships, they're slandering. During lockdown, it was no different if you didn't comply, if you didn't wear a mask. And who pushed that agenda? None other than pig vomit in there, Piers Morgan. And as for you, Cardwell, calling Robinson a racist, you owe the British public and Tommy Robinson an apology.
And while Tommy Robinson is behind bars, his account on X posted Peter Cardwell should hang his head in shame for making such ridiculous, false and dangerous claims while live on air. Okay, Father Calvin Robinson, I guess we both have a bit of a soft spot for talk, right? I mean, you were a big part of it. I hosted the Drive Time show there during 2020, but I'd been there for a few years beforehand. Personal friends with Julia Hartley-Brewer, Mike Graham, Alex Phillips. Not that that necessarily means that I agree with everything they say. I don't know Peter Cardwell, but I see him popping up all the time on the BBC, Father Calvin, and I have my suspicions that he's one of these guys, and we know these guys, Calvin, because we knew many of them at GB News, who are using a platform like Talk or GB News to actually get where they really want to get to, which is the MSM, wanting to work for the BBC or Sly News or something like that. Am I being unfair?
I think possibly a little bit. I, like you, also have a soft spot for Talk, yeah. And the thing I like about it is that, so Julia Hartley-Brewer, who I adore, is anti-religion, right? She's anti-Christian, yet we still get on. So we're still able to have a friendship and have conversations without agreeing on every single thing, even things that are core to my being. That's old-fashioned liberalism. And so that's what Talk managed to do for the most part. Peter Cardwell I like on a personal level. He helped train me up back in the day, but he wasn't even on air anymore, but he was still somehow on their payroll. I don't know what his official role was. But I think what he's fallen foul of here is the thing that many of us do, in that the narrative for so long has been Tommy Robinson racist, that you just believe it without checking. And I've tweeted Peter to ask him what evidence he has, because he's so dismissive there. He's like, well, of course Tommy Robinson's racist. Do some basic research. But the question is, okay, so what basic research have you done, Peter? Have you just drank the Kool-Aid and listened to the propaganda? If so, perhaps he needs to do his own research. And then I would like for him to apologise. I do think he is man enough to say I was wrong on that. So that's what I'm hoping. But let's see if he at least engages.
He's doubling down.
But has he taken the time to do any research and have a conversation with anyone? Let's get him on your show, or I'll go on his show, or let's get him to actually speak about why he believes this without any evidence.
But see, this is what's interesting, Calvin, and I give real credit to Alex Phillips, because even though she still has an MSM job, she's trying to carve out a career quite rightly in the independent space. She's launched her Substack. She came here the other day. She admitted that she'd previously got it wrong about Tommy Robinson. She also said, I mean, we spoke about it at the time, but she also said, actually, people in the mainstream media are too gutless to talk about him. Now, I think because we have both been in the mainstream media, Calvin, we should explain how this works, because you tried multiple times at GB News to get Tommy Robinson on air. But at GB News, it's almost like you end up on a banned list. And when you're on that banned list, which, by the way, we both are now, they pretend that you don't exist. Yeah. So it's not that they even have a debate about you, which I wouldn't mind, like have the debate and say Father Calvin's terrible on this, or Tommy Robinson's wrong on this, or Katie Hopkins is wrong on this, and also say when we're right as well. But in fact, what they do, Calvin, and this is why we know they're part of the mainstream media, they deperson the people who they have cancelled. It's like if you watch GB News, Tommy Robinson doesn't exist unless there was a very, very brief mention of him being jailed. Same with Katie Hopkins. Same with you. Same with Lawrence Fox. Same with me.
I tried very hard to get all of them on GB News, actually. I thought, I've been granted my own show. Fantastic. I can get whoever I like on. No. And there's a blacklist. But I never saw the blacklist. So people that were blackballed were put on this blacklist that only producers would see. And it's supposed to be that the producers are helping the presenter with their show, but it seemed that quite a lot of the time they thought they were puppet masters, and they thought they were there to hold us back from speaking too much truth. I even at one point got permission from the CEO to get Katie Hopkins on my show, yet I still couldn't do it. I've got permission from the top boss, and I still couldn't get her on.
And what was the reason given?
The producers would say, no, it's not happening. And I'm like, well, what can I do about that? I'll push back as much as I can. I tried to get Tommy Robinson on, but of course that was never going to happen. I tried to get Cole Benjamin on, who I think is quite moderate. He's a reasonable centrist, bless him. Yeah, he's a good man. But they said, no, not happening. And so when they say no, there's very little you can do other than throw a tantrum, and that gets you nowhere. So,
and the point is, if you are one of these presenters in the mainstream media, even if you agree with Tommy Robinson or Katie Hopkins, it's probably just not worth you speaking out, right? That's how they would think. Oh, let's just keep quiet on this. It's not worth the hassle, which is why I give huge credit for Alex Phillips actually interviewing Tommy Robinson on her independent platform, talking about Tommy Robinson on this platform in very positive terms while she still has a show on Talk TV, because honestly, Calvin, it does make her vulnerable for cancellation. But first, with the holidays creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe, I've got something way better to share with you. And the discount for Black Friday on this is off the chart, so you're going to want to hear it. If you want to look sharp for all those festive gatherings and maybe finally win that Best Groomed at Family Dinner award, check out the latest masterpiece from Manscaped, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. Trust me, it's like Rudolph for your face, guiding you to a smooth, irritation-free shave. So let's dive into the goods. The Chairman Pro is armed with not one, but two interchangeable skin-safe blades heads. Think of them as your grooming superheroes. The skin-safe 4-blade foil for when you want that baby bottom smooth, and the skin-safe stubble trimmer for when you want to keep some stubble but clean it up a bit. Both keep you looking sharp while minimizing razor burn and irritation, because nobody wants to show up to the holiday party looking like they lost a fight with a Christmas tree, right? But wait, there's more. The Chairman Pro has Flex Adjust technology, which is basically like the holiday miracle of shaving. It's like Santa's elves made it just for you. The blades and pivoting head adjust to every curve of your face and is gentle on the neck area, as if they had the gift of foresight. So go ahead, kiss that awkward jawline patch goodbye. No more pretending it doesn't exist while you hope nobody notices under the mistletoe. And if you want even more precision, on the right side of the bracket, there's a precision lock. When you lock it, the blade head sits firm so you can achieve a more precise shave. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof, so you can use it right in the shower. And the waterproof feature doesn't just make shaving easier, it also simplifies cleanup. Just a quick rinse under the sink and you're all set. The Chairman Pro isn't just for daily shaves either. It's powerful enough to tackle up to 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. And with up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, you'll have plenty of juice to go from Santa's beard to smooth as a snow angel. It even has a travel lock to make sure it doesn't accidentally turn on in your bag, and an LED spotlight to help you see every detail, ensuring nothing gets missed. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. It has everything you need to keep your face looking and feeling its best, all in one box. You can head on over to www.manscaped.com and join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using the code OUTSPOKEN for free shipping. And this week only, a bigger discount, 25% off to mark Black Friday. That's www.manscaped.com, and make sure you use the coupon code OUTSPOKEN at checkout. But now, back to the show.
And we can assume that if Alex Phillips, bless her, I love her, she's great, if she has interviewed him on her private platforms, we can assume that she's tried to at least get him onto her professional platform too. And if that hasn't happened, we can also assume that someone at Talk does not want it to happen.
Oh, no, 100%. 100%. You're not allowed to have Tommy Robinson on Talk. You're not.
So they can sit there and slander him all day.
It's a mainstream media company. You're just not allowed to do it because
they can have Peter Cardwell slander him all day. They can have people libeling him all day, calling him this, that, and the other, but they can't get him on to give his fair share. That's not right, is it?
Well, it's not right, Calvin, when they put Ash Sarkar on, one of the most racist people, I would argue, in Britain. You know, they have absolutely, or Dr. Scholler, for example. I mean, you know, I don't believe in deplatforming anyone. As you know, I had Narinder Kaur on the show the other day to debate with her over the Catherine tweets, because I don't believe that people should be deplatformed at all. But I'm sorry, there is a complete hypocrisy when you say that it's absolutely fine to have hard left race baiters or straight out racists on air, but not a Tommy Robinson or a Katie Hopkins. And the Katie Hopkins thing is fascinating because, I mean, when I was first at The Sun, she was a completely mainstream figure. She had her weekly newspaper column there. She had a show on LBC. She then moved to the Mail Online. So How can someone be considered completely palatable to the mainstream media in 2016, but by 2024 be so revolting in their view that her name must not even be uttered?
Yeah, it's because they don't. These lefties don't want conversations. They want their own narrative parroted out, and that's why Jeremy Vine has a panel of 2 or 3 hard left people, and people like this, Channel 5 and all these mainstream platforms, they love it when the rest of us kick off about it because it gets them a load of traction, and people are talking about their rubbish shows again. But it's just bad journalism. It's bad for all of us. Can we go back to having actual conversations and open debates in good faith rather than shouting over each other and all that nonsense that we see now?
Yeah, but Father Calvin, we cannot ever trust the mainstream media again to have those conversations. We can't. And I think we absolutely can trust the independent media to have these conversations. What the concern is for all of us is where we're allowed to have these conversations. Because if Elon Musk hadn't purchased X, Katie Hopkins would not have an account. Graham Linehan would not have an account. And certainly there's no way Tommy Robinson would have an account. Often having these conversations on YouTube will see you be demonetized. I think that's what happened with your interview with Tommy, or certainly other. I know other people like Maya Tusi who interviewed Tommy. They get demonetized as a result.
I've got a very small YouTube channel, but my interview with Tommy Robinson is the biggest hitter on my channel, and it's demonetized. And they put these warnings on there about incendiary person or something like that. It's like, well, how is he incendiary? He's just speaking common sense. Again, it just doesn't fit the left-wing narrative. It's terrible. But this isn't just mainstream media. This is everything. I got attacked by the Professor Kehinde Andrews, who called me a coon, house Negro, Uncle Tom. That his video on YouTube is fine. No comments there. That's perfectly acceptable. Funny coincidence, by the way, that his Black Studies course at Birmingham City University is no longer being taken up. It's being
oh my goodness! I saw you post on this. So tell me everything. Is this finally sort of like woke exiting the stage in academia, or is that far too positive to think?
I think he's reaping what he sowed in that he has a course that is literally teaching people critical race theory, and no one's choosing that course. And so the university is saying, well, we're going to stop funding it because we can't fund it indefinitely if no one's selecting it. And he's like, well, this is racism. It's because we have a white chancellor. This, that. It's like, no, stop peddling your race agenda. Nobody wants it. It's toxic. It's divisive. It's tearing this country apart. Go do something productive with your life.
And of course, he's the BFF of Prince Harry and Meghan, of course. Carver, look, I want to end on something fun. Darren Grimes brought my attention to this. He posted on X saying, Paul Cleary, a 71-year-old pensioner who volunteers as Santa every year, has been sacked for sharing a jokey social media post comparing Keir Starmer to an elf. Yes, seriously. And Santa himself, Paul Cleary, went on GB News to have this discussion with Martin Daubney.
I've been accused of sending racist and or derogatory remarks on my Facebook page about the Labour government. So I received a letter from the trust where I volunteered as Santa.
Into any details, I understand that the post was about comparing Keir Starmer to an elf. Is that right? So was it an elf and safety issue?
It was an elf with Keir Starmer's face on it in front of number 10, but the 10 was the I and O in idiot.
Right. I mean, you know, it's not the kind of thing that Santa would normally say, but it's a free country, and for Santa got the sack.
Yeah.
Look, mate, you've been a great sport.
Life goes on, and another charity are going to benefit.
Father Calvin, your reaction?
Martin Daubney getting all the puns in there. Elf and safety. Santa got the sack. Oh dear, what's daytime TV become? But yeah, I mean, that poor chap getting sacked for just commenting on a social media platform about the government. Who isn't commenting about the government right now? The government is awful. It's got nothing to do with him sitting there playing Santa in front of the kids. He's not going to tell the kids, like, Keir Starmer has stolen your presents this year. I mean, come on, it's got nothing to do with it.
But it's all about stopping us having conversations, even if you are Santa. Father Calvin Robinson, absolutely brilliant to have you. We will speak next week. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.